This essay is going to highlight the major developments in the history of the system of writing. Pretend that you're a part of a primitive tribe. You are part of a hunter-gatherer stage of human society. Now, imagine that you would like to convey an idea to someone else. Now, you could use words. You could use these sounds coupled up with physical actions to convey your message. This is no different than dancing of birds or the communication of dancing bees. The fundamental goal is to transfer, influence, information from one mind into another. As it is understood through history, humans have been able to transfer information orally for quite some time. After human civilization had gotten better at collecting food at such an efficient rate, a portion of the population would then be freed up to offer leisure time for, and ultimately leading to more complex administrative behaviors in a society. Writing is a recent innovation. Our species has existed for over 300,000 years. For all but the last 5,000 of them, people had to record and transmit vital knowledge without the aid of writing. It was in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, where the need for record-keeping was first felt. Roughly 5,000 years ago, the Sumerians developed the first city-states. The earliest forms of writing takes place in the Fertile Crescent in 3000 BC. In the area that is now labeled as Iraq, the process became essential in tightening loose accounting standards when it came to collecting taxes. These ledgers were historically recorded on pieces of clay. Around the same time, the Egyptians were developing their own system of record keeping, specifically with pictures and symbols. Based on my research, the oldest forms of writing are from clay, accounting tablets, rectangular in shape, to hold information that is said to communicate payments in cattle, shipments, or cattle to shepherds for fattening, and gifts of cattle as an offering. These so-called pictograms would be the basis for the first writing systems, and so we owe writing to the first accountants and tax inspectors. The next step from written word is art, symbols that represent the idea that the artist is trying to convey. Creating a pictogram, a drawing that resembles and represents the physical object that is trying to be conveyed. For example, in the ancient world, a squiggly line could be used to convey a river. An example of a modern pictogram in English can be found in many representations. In traffic lights, like the walk or do not walk sign at a traffic light. In most modern times, emojis are considered acceptable pictograms to convey emotion. An example of a smiley face with a single tear could be used to convey sadness. Emojis in particular are a way to overcome the tone depth nuance of texting in the modern era. Pictograms worked for a while, but they had limitations to them. It is difficult to draw pictures of abstract concepts such as a calm, young, danger, or excitement. It was necessary for individual letters to depict words or phrases. This invention of combining the picture to sound of a word helped make the process of creating these alphabets in a more manageable way. An example of the complexity of many early languages would have 1,500 different characters to communicate words. Since the symbols were so many, it required the language to be far more complex. This in turn limits the capacity for literacy. This required a giant leap in the use of pictures and symbols, giving them sounds leading to rebus. Sound plus sound equals new meaning. The link between symbols and picture ultimately leading to an alphabet. A rebus is a pun or a device that combines the use of illustrated pictures with homophones. This helped develop the language further. Almost all the letters of the alphabet are ultimately derived from the symbols chosen for the sound of the tone. This led the way for more efficient ways of writing. For example, the more modern alphabets are efficient with just 30 or so characters. This efficient system allows for the democratization of literacy. The rebus is the link from ancient pictographs to what is more efficient in the writing system.